Right, when you went to the next major, it's massively different to the one we were talking about before, where it was the first major. This was the one where you guys go to the semi-finals and it was looking good. Right, the one question I have to start out with is this, right? Like I said before, if you're doing that ladder thing that I did, just making playoffs would have been good. But here's the problem. There's always a but, you'll notice. This is the problem until you just like beat FaZe straight up and win the finals. Some people are always going to have a little knock. So the obvious knock is, played Copenhagen Flames in the quarterfinals, didn't you? It's like everyone was dissing them too. So what was that? First of all, when you got that draw, was everyone just like, awesome, this is the best possible draw? Was it the best draw?
Yeah, I think it was. Even though we thought Copenhagen was a pretty legit team, because they were still like a top 15 team.
Yeah, sure.
At the time. Well, we thought that draw was like the best for us. We knew we had like a pretty good veto against them, so it would have been a good game for us to just warm up, kind of, because it was in the arena as well. So
yeah.
Everyone, it was like a game with technically the least amount of pressure, maybe, and the most if you look at it, because technically playing the worst opponent in the.
Even though I have to ask this, like I'm an idiot, I have to ask it this way: is it different to play in a big stadium with all the fans?
For sure, it's like it's hard to even describe the feeling, but it was an amazing feeling to play in front of such a big crowd.
I've tried explaining sometimes to fans on shows. It's like, you know, when people hear stories like, oh, and the guy was nervous or he was shaking. It's like, you have to understand, everyone, all the players are doing that, all the talent. Like, by the way, you do it even if you're a veteran. The real reason is because like, it's like your fucking energy, isn't it? It's like anything could happen now. By the way, anything awesome could happen too. You could like win a round, could have got, but like that feeling doesn't go away just because you're playing. Like it's sort of present the whole time, right?
Yeah, it's from the start to the finish, and even after the finish as well. It's something crazy.
Did you feel as though, like, what sort of vibe do you think the crowd gave ence? Were they actually pulling for ence? Were they against you? What would you say?
Yeah, during the Copenhagen game, for sure. I felt more like ence vibes for us. But then against Na'Vi, it was like 80%
everyone wanted you to lose, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
After every like Na'Vi kill, yeah, everyone was just cheering for Na'Vi like most of the time.
Right, because of the way the game went and the fact that, like, obviously everyone knows Na'Vi was, like, powering up as the tournament went on. Everyone's going to think it was like, you just all choked and all of a sudden. Was there actually, like, did something go wrong? Was it like you could, like, was it a game you'd never played in before? What was the situation in this match?
Yeah, I think it was really stressful to play against Na'Vi, and I think also Na'Vi did some serious prep that game. Like, we just couldn't adapt to the way they approached it, because we had the game plan, but everything from the game plan just didn't work. I remember we wanted to like hit Tinner a lot of the time, and then Boomage, Simple, they were just like wrecking us at the door like all the time. So yeah, it was just tough to adapt during that game.
Because the funny thing is, people are going to think as well, like, well, obviously you're not going to beat Na'Vi, but like if people don't remember, Na'Vi barely got through that bloody quarterfinal series. Like, they almost got 2-0 by Heroic. Then on Nuke, they were having some like dodgy moments where it looked like they could, like, you guys at the time, Nuke was your go-to pick. Like, if I look, sadly, I've got a tragic history of this. I've got to stop fucking DMing Snappy, because every time I DM him something like, oh, it's looking good, like, it just gets bodied in the next fucking game. And I'm like, and maybe I'm like reverse jinxing this motherfucker to make him think it's, because I remember telling him after that match, like, dude, the joke is, after that one, I'd want to play Na'Vi. Like, they look exploitable on that map. Like, basically, Electronic just hard carried him through that game. Like, if he doesn't do that, like, as a normal game, you should have had a chance. Right? You must have felt like we could do something in this game.
Yeah, for sure. Like, we didn't feel like it was the Na'Vi which ended 2021. Like, it's definitely a Na'Vi which was beatable during that tournament, but yeah, they just bodied us.
What is it? Obviously, like, that was a hard series for you personally. What is it like? Give me the explanation, right? Because the closest anyone who's a fan can come. I recommend people do this. For certain players, Ziwu, Nico, Simple, go and get those Snipe to Die reverse POV highlight movies. And then you might actually understand why it isn't as simple as like, just shoot him, dude. It's like when Nico jiggle peeks the corner, you see like the edge of his elbow come out and you're dead. That's what it's like, fans. It's like, it's fucking impossible, right? What's it like playing against Simple when he goes off on LAN?
Yeah, when he went off, it was just like tough to him. Like the second you like show your elbow, you're dead. Like most of the time, you peek him, you're dead. Like it was just you couldn't do anything that game. Like he was just popping off. And then he was also like really aggressive, so you never know where to expect him as well. It's really tough to play against him.
Right, as much as people think that like the worst game to lose is the one that's like very close and you know you're losing overtime or the third, I actually think in some ways this sort of game can be the worst because you're coming in and it must feel like you're in a movie. Like holy shit, we're in the playoffs. Wait a minute, we're in the semis. Like wait a minute, what if we get beat them and then we could? And if you just lose, it's like fuck that the whole chance is just gone. Like what happened? Like whenever he got a proper crack at it, right?
Yeah, that's exactly how it was, kind of. Well, the second you start believing, and then you just reality hits you, kind of. You just get bodied round after round. You play a different strat, you get bodied. You do something else, you also get bodied. Like felt like we got countered at everything we've done. So it's like a really rough experience.
How do you react if you take a big loss? What's the difference in you to your teammates or other people?
I'm a guy which hates to lose, so if I lose and then I play bad as well, like it really hits me for like a day or two, but then after that I just kind of stand up and it motivates me to like, okay, why we got smacked, and then I just try to see what I did wrong, like what we did wrong, and try to build on that.
Right, people might know that after this was the IEM Dallas tournament, which sadly some of the sort of luster have got ripped out underneath because immediately everyone remembers like the fucking team list just started like it's like someone left it out in the sun and it evaporated. Like every day there was just teams dropping out, like they're dropping out, yeah. stand in, this person has COVID, like oh fucking hell. So like when you heard about that scenario, right? You guys had this weird thing where was it that Spinks couldn't get the visa? Was that the problem you had?
Yeah,
and was that something you knew in advance, or did you only find out like shortly before?
No, we knew it in advance. We didn't know he won't get it, but we knew that there's a chance that he won't get it. So we will need to find a stand-in. It was like two weeks before the tournament. We knew that it might be a problem for Spinks to get it.
And what was the situation? Like, how soon did you know that Snacks would be the stand-in?
It was like, I think we knew it like all the time. We asked a few options, and then like a week before the tournament, we asked if Snacks is possible, because I know we were trying to get a few other players for also. I think it was like Fasher and Yekinder and like someone else.
Okay.
But then none of it ever happened, so we just got Snacks, and yeah, the rest is history. Like it's almost perfect.
Right, here's the question. I'm going to phrase it very carefully here, right? I understand you must think Snacks was a great player and he is a legendary player. And by the way, he's still even pretty decent now. He's able to put together some good games. But obviously, everyone knows whenever you're an old player, could be Fallen, could be the ones I love, Shocks, fucking if Kenny S came back, right? If they have a good game and you're a fan, you want to believe, like, oh, they're back, it's vintage Shocks, it's 2015 or whatever, you know, but like, you know, it's obviously not. Like, obviously, he was way better back then. Right? What actual level was Snacks at this tournament? Because it wasn't like he was like fucking 2015 Snacks or something. You know, he wasn't like going to be the god of the whole fucking event. I mean, he did very well.
I think it was like a really high level back then. Maybe he was really strong individually, but then the thing he was doing inside the game, like we just felt everyone had more space when Snacks was playing.
Right.
He was like, oh yeah, they're doing this, you can do this, or like, yeah, guys, I'm in vent, you can just work. He
was like secondary calling.
Maybe not secondary calling, but then he was giving like a lot of valuable information, I think, which then Snappy was using. And yeah, I just felt really good playing with him. And then of course he still has this clutch kind of ability, so it was just a pleasure to watch.
Yes, no, that's the thing that never goes away if people don't know. Like that, I can say that's what people like Shock still have. You just see they still just win 1v1s for fun. See more cool, funny, interesting clips based on topics from my content? Well, subscribe to this channel then, or, you know, be a pleb and don't.